Hi, Chantel. Hi, Anna. Okay, so I did say yesterday I was going to do 2 videos a day, 2 Facebook Lives a day. So here I am one more time with our day 2 of 12 videos before Christmas. So today I want to talk to you about one more Access Consciousness tool that it's called barriers. What are barriers? What are barriers and how we stop? I get to say it in English. Yeah, you get to see it in English and you get to say it in English. um, okay, so one of the tools, one of a lot of the tools in Access Consciousness is barriers. And every time we go to a class or every time we hear clearings, they mention a lot the barriers. And sometimes we forget, we definitely forget about the barriers. So my invitation to you is to be aware about the barriers. And first, let me explain to you a little bit about what barriers are. Okay, so I don't know if it's any time in your life, have you ever resist or react on anything that somebody said or any situation or maybe anyone in your family that had said something and then you react on it, or your partner, your husband, your loved one, your lover, and then they say something and then right away it's like we react on it? Okay, so that it's a barrier. Every time we resist or react into something, every time we have a point of view about something, every time we get upset about something, that's when we stop our receiving. So I'm going to explain to you a little bit about how I was noticing about my barriers when I first started doing Access Consciousness. And I'm talking about almost 8 years ago. And the way I used to see how the barriers were is like I had imagined this wall in front of me that it wouldn't let me receive at all. And the way I used to put my barriers down, I would imagine, back then I used to close my eyes and imagine there was this wall, and then all of a sudden it was like an elevator where I push this red button and then the barrier will go down like elevator. What if now you don't have to do all of that? You don't have to go through all of that. All you got to do, even just by even asking, so truth, where are my barriers? And you are aware where your barriers are. What if by even asking, you choose to put them down, and then just by choosing, they can go down, just as easy as that. Um, Hi, Julissa, ¿cómo estás? So, so every time you resist and react in any of these barriers, so I'm going to do some clearings as we talked about yesterday about the clearing statement. The clearing statement is this magic wand that release and dissipate, will destroy and create all the energy that is not allowing you to receive even more. So all of the barriers that you are aware of yourself right now, would you be willing to please destroy and create all of that? I'm going to assume you're going to say yes so I can do the clear statement. Right and wrong, good and bad, POC and PA, all night, shorts, boys, and beyonds. So all of the barriers that you have of yourself right now, would you be willing to please give yourself permission to melt them away, destroy and then create everything that doesn't allow you to be with no barriers? Ooh, right and wrong, good and bad, POC and PA, all night, shorts, boys, and beyonds. So what are you putting barriers to? Are you putting barriers to yourself for not receiving? Are you putting barriers for the weather? Are you putting barriers at your business? Are you putting barriers on your husband, on your wife? Are you putting barriers on your kids? Are you putting barriers in your own home? So ask yourself, where are you actually putting barriers up that is not allowing you to receive? especially right now with this holidays. Like everybody's so stressed out about money. Everybody's so stressed out about we have to pay bills, but also Christmas is coming and we have to buy gifts and we have to go shopping and all this stuff that's coming up. How many barriers do we put up on everything that is going on right now because of the holidays? So everything that is, would you be willing to please the star and create and release it and dissipate out of your space? And would you give yourself permission to lower your barriers now? Right and wrong, good and bad, puck and paw, all night, shorts, boys, and beyonds. Okay, so besides the barriers now, it's like I'm gonna invite you to every time you go to a grocery store, every time you go, even when you're gonna come into your house, if you're gonna go to somebody's houses or you're gonna do a business or you're gonna make a phone call, every time you're gonna do something, ask your barriers to go down. That doesn't mean they're up, but you can also ask just automatically, ask your barriers to go down. And be aware through the day, where are the barriers? Sometimes our barriers are all the way to Jupiter and we don't even know. And then we're resisting and reacting the reasons why we're not receiving. So I'm going to invite you to every time you go to a grocery store or you're going to make a phone call, you're going to do any kind of business, ask your barriers to go down and expand. And imagine every time you're going to do something with no barriers, how much can we receive? How much can we receive with no walls, with no barriers? And like I was telling everybody in the other video, because remember I'm doing 2 live videos every day for 12 days, English and Spanish, and I was letting them know right now too that every time you resist and react into something, instead of getting upset or putting our barriers up, what if we can start functioning from interesting point of view? Remember that everything is just an interesting point of view. Everything is not real until we put a meaning to it. So what if instead of getting upset or getting mad into anything, any situation, or if somebody said something or you receive a call and maybe you don't like it, what if you can just function from the interesting point of view? Interesting point of view, I have that point of view, or interesting point of view, they have that point of view about me. And lower your barriers and expand and see how much more ease will you start having if you lower your barriers and then you expand and you start asking for more ease and barriers down. So that is my 2 for today. This is my video number 2. I hope this can contribute to you in any how. And if it does, I will invite you to share this video with your friends. If you know anyone that would like to receive this contribution. And like I was saying too, our first language is energy. So it really doesn't matter if it's English or Spanish. But, sometimes people would like to know what we are saying, even though that maybe they're shifting while I'm doing the clearings and the processes. But I think it's also a pretty cool thing if they get to understand a little bit of what I'm saying. So anyways, so I will hope this contributes to you, and please share it, please like it, and I will see you tomorrow in the next video, and I will talk to you tomorrow. Have a good night. Bye.